So in this YouTube video, I will be breaking down step by step the 4 laziest recommendations I have for you to fix your health. Even though you might be the laziest person ever, whatever, you can still fix your health and get better health, feel better, feel more energized, be more confident in yourself. I'm a very lazy person myself. I've been a gamer my whole life, eating processed foods, and the things that I started doing to fix my health wasn't something that required David Goggins mindset, And I'm a person that was very unhealthy in the past. I'm gonna put up some pictures right here. I was very bloated, I had acne, low energy levels. I was feeling like shit and I was also looking like shit. Let's get into it. So these tips are coming from a guy that transformed his health through, simple things that goes back to basics, that goes back to nature. So the first and the most laziest tip that I can give you guys is that you need to move your body, okay? So you don't need to go to the gym, you don't need to do marathons, you don't need to run. You can do simple natural movements that aligns with our nature. So what am I doing right now? I'm walking barefoot in nature, getting some sunlight in my face. So the first thing that I did when I transformed my health was that I was starting to go outside. Even though it was raining, even though it was sunny, didn't really care. I was going outside and I was using my phone outside instead of just laying on my couch and scrolling on my phone. So instead of laying on my bed and scrolling on my phone, I went outside and I scrolled on my phone. I watched YouTube videos, I did work. I was speaking with my friends on my phone, meanwhile walking, meanwhile laying in the grass. If you're experiencing any health issues, this is one of the main things that is going to help you with your health. Just being outside, just connecting to nature and your natural state as a human being. Even though you might be addicted to your phone, whatever you do on your phone, just go outside. You can walk slowly, you can still walk and scroll on your phone, you can lay in the grass and scroll on your phone, meanwhile getting a nice looking tan, getting that vitamin D from the sun, moving that lymphatic system, walking, grounding to nature. Super simple, but super effective tip also. The second tip that I can give you guys is to eat more natural foods. Everything I preach, everything I did for my health, everything I prioritize today is just going back to basics, going back to nature, since I've realized that every single thing that we experience today, every single health issue that we have today is because we went against nature. We started to create our own things and consume our own things instead of, living in nature and consuming things from nature. So what people don't realize is that you can heal whatever condition that you have through living more as a human being, and especially through a natural diet. So if you're, for example, eating processed foods right now, the first transition that you should do is to start eliminating processed foods and start eating more natural foods. And it doesn't have to be boring, it doesn't have to be strict. I follow a raw animal-based diet, but if you're eating processed foods right now, the first transition for you would be to eliminate processed foods and start to introduce more fruits so that you can, still be satisfied on an animal-based diet. So what I prioritize on an animal-based diet is beef, eggs, fruits, maybe some starches here and there, depending on how active you are. But just food from nature with proper nutrition from animals, and of course healthy animals, since we don't want to consume any toxic chemicals and get any heavy metals from animals. So the laziest tip I could give you there is start to introduce more beef, more eggs, and whenever you feel cravings, just eat a bunch of fruit. Like, don't put any limits on yourself when you're starting to switch a diet, because when you put limits on yourself, people often fail when they put any restrictions on themselves. So you can eat animal-based foods and eat how much you want. This heals your body, your gut, your hormones, everything, because you get the proper nutrition that we humans were meant for. Animal fats, animal protein, Cholesterol isn't something that we should fear. Cholesterol converts into our hormones. So if you're a man and you're eating low cholesterol, I can 100% say that you're also having, bad hormones and low testosterone. And if you're already on an animal-based diet and you're still having health issues, then you're on the second transition where you should go over to raw animal-based foods / raw primal, which I am currently on. I'm only eating raw foods from nature, and I believe God intended us to only eat raw foods as well. We shouldn't really, mess with the food. We should eat it as it is. So when it comes to that, I would recommend you to eat more beef tartare, for example, because we've all been eating raw animal-based foods in our lives, like sushi, for example, beef tartare, beef carpaccio, oysters. All these things are eventually the raw primal diet. And it's the diet, the transition that helped me the most with cleaning my acne, with getting rid of bloating, with fixing my gut health as well, because of the beneficial bacteria and enzymes that healed my body from the inside out. So if you're on an animal-based diet and you're still having issues with your health, I would definitely recommend you to introduce more raw foods, and especially raw fats. So raw milk is very good for you. Raw cheese, raw butter, these things will bind the toxins in your body and help you to detox them faster and effectively. So that's the second lazy tip that I have for you. The third laziest tip that I will give to you in this video is actually fixing your light environment. Our body doesn't just react to our diet. Our body also reacts to our light environment. What type of light do we get in our face and our eyes? If we only get unnatural light in our eyes, like artificial blue light from our phones, from our TV, from our computer, that's still an unhealthy light diet, you can say, So it's not only about diet, it's not only about what you put in your mouth, but also what type of light that you get in your face and in your eyes, So especially if you have any problems with your hormones, this is very, very important for you. Also with your sleep, if you're someone that has a bad sleep schedule, or you're sleeping very lightly and you're stressed all the time, fixing your light environment is the highest ROI thing that you can do. So when it comes to that, first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, even though you might be a super lazy person and you wake up late, the first thing that you should do is to get outside. Sure, if you're very lazy, grab your phone, go outside with your phone. You can be on your phone, you can do work on your phone, you can, do whatever. Just grab your phone and go outside, get some sunlight. Even though it's cloudy, right now it's cloudy in the sky, but I still get sunlight through the clouds. I get the UV, so my body produces the right hormones, and my body knows that it's daytime now, Then during day also, you should eventually get some sunlight. You might work a lot on your computer. If you're someone that's an entrepreneur, it would be beneficial if you could work outside. Just 30 minutes, 1 hour. You don't have to be outside 24/7, even though it's the most ideal thing to do. Just be outside. If you're someone that works a regular 9-to-5 job, just go out 5 minutes, maybe eat your lunch outside, so your body knows that it's still daytime. You get some sunlight, you get the vitamin D, you get the benefits from the sun. Of course, don't wear any sunscreen. Then in the evening, when the sun goes down, you should be eliminating all stress factors. So you shouldn't ideally work out in the evening. I would go for a regular, calm walk in the evening. I can listen to a podcast, I can talk with a friend, something calm that tells your body that it's supposed to be, something calm that tells your body that it's, it's time for bed soon, As soon as the sun goes down, you should put your red light filter on, on your phone, since we're supposed to eliminate blue light exposure in the evening. What blue light eventually does is spiking our cortisol levels, because it tells our brain that it's daytime. So if you're someone that's using the phone in the evening, you're getting a lot of blue light. You're telling your brain that it's daytime. So it's very confusing to your body, and this messes up your hormones a lot. I'll put a link in the description that tells you exactly how you can put the red light filter on your phone. What I also did was I bought a pair of blue light blocking glasses. So I don't eliminate my phone usage in the evening. I put my blue light blocking glasses on, and I put the red light filter on my phone, so I can still do whatever. I can watch YouTube, I can scroll, I can be a lazy person, but I don't get any blue light from my environment. So this is a very, very beneficial thing. This fixed my sleep issues, my stress factors, and my hormones. So eventually I got higher testosterone and I got healthier overall. My eye bags got a lot better since I slept deeper. So this is the third laziest tip that I can give you. Okay, so the laziest tip that I have for you guys is also the most efficient tip that I have. So in this modern world that we live in today, we're constantly exposed to unnatural chemicals in our environment. So for example, shampoo, soaps, toothpaste, in our food, microplastics, processed foods, pollution in the air, heavy metals. I don't know if I can say it, but also these things that we get in our arm. Always, constantly, we have chemicals all around us, even though we might not notice it. But this is something that accumulates in our body, in our brains, in our organs, and eventually leads to disease. So the fourth and laziest tip that I have for you guys is to start replacing the things in your environment that is currently something unnatural. Basically eliminate the unnatural things in your environment and replace them with natural alternatives. So for example, fluoride in chemical toothpaste to natural and fluoride-free toothpaste. From chemical shampoo to natural soap bars or raw eggs that I use myself. From chemical sunscreen to a natural sunscreen, or no sunscreen at all. I'm not using any sunscreen at all. I'm still able to get tanned and I'm not burning, because I just listen to my body and I get out of the sun as soon as I feel that I'm getting burnt. Seed oils, for example, this is something big that definitely causes a lot of inflammation and diseases in our bodies. So I'm personally not consuming any seed oils. Our body is not able to detox seed oils for a very long time. It takes approximately 6 months to 1 year to detox seed oils and vegetable oils. So this is something to eliminate and to reintroduce with beef tallow or butter or natural oils that doesn't oxidize us and create free radicals in our bodies. Go from Teflon pans to natural cast iron or stainless steel pans. Also a very good thing, because for you guys that still cook your food, you don't want microplastics or forever chemicals leaching into your food that you eat that might eventually get into your brain and damage your brain. Also a very, very big thing is to replace polyester clothes to natural clothes only. I only use natural clothes like linen, for example, because natural clothes doesn't damage and leaches into my skin. It's nothing unnatural that can damage my body. But back in the days when I was a gym bro, I only used to wear polyester clothes, which is basically oil and plastic. And what do you think happens when you're working out? You're starting to sweat, you open up your lymphatic system, and then you have oil, unnatural oil and plastic on your body. Our skin is absorbing whatever we place on the skin. And if you're placing plastic on your skin, of course you're going to also absorb that. So I have a very long list that you can get access to. So just DM me on Instagram list and I will send over the whole list that you can, you know, you can do these one-time swaps. Doesn't require a David Goggins mindset, doesn't require discipline. You basically just throw out the things in your environment that is unhealthy, and then you just replace them with natural alternatives or no alternatives at all. You know, I would say I'm a very natural, you know, I'm a very natural guy right now. I don't replace these things, I just throw them out, and then I don't use deodorant, for example. When you're biochemically healthy, you don't stink, you know. You only stink when you have a lot of chemicals in your body that's getting pushed out. So these were my 4 laziest recommendations to you guys to fix your health and your health issues and get healthier and get more vital and get more energy, you know, with still being a lazy person. You don't have to be the most disciplined person to make these changes in your life. If you guys need any help of any sort, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. My name is Philip Hagblom. It's gonna be on the screen. And hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Drop a comment, and that's it. Do these changes and your health will skyrocket.